Now that Hogwarts Legacy has been out for a little over 3 weeks and I have had enough time exploring the game, I'm going to be sharing my experience with you and whether I was on the verge of deleting my YouTube channel out of utter disappointment. For this video, I separated my experience into different categories, those being the character design and their personalities, the main story without any spoilers of course, the exploration, where I'll also be diving deeper into the different ways we can travel through the wizarding world and the Room of Requirement, the combat and spells, and in the end I will give you my conclusion and whether or not I think this game is worth being picked up. I started playing the game with little to no expectations. I mean, I had seen and analyzed lots of footage, and I somewhat knew that this game is gonna be big. However, I had done the same with other games and was disappointed in the end, because I put my expectations too high. So this time I thought, let's not do that to yourself again and just don't have any expectations. If the worst case scenario happens, at least you won't be crying yourself to sleep at night. I literally went in with the mentality that this game could be a complete disaster in case it really was. The very first thing you do after some simple settings is create your own character. It was a great but very stressful experience for me because I'm very bad at making decisions, like very bad. And I didn't want to have a jump scare every time my character appears on screen. There are lots of traits to choose from, which is great, and I think everyone was served here. But of course, nothing great will get away without someone complaining about something. In this case, the widest among us who haven't seen sun in over a decade have decided to come out of their holes and try the game for themselves. I haven't looked deeply enough into it to have my own opinion, but all I can say is if you want to have the skin color sunbathed by the radiation of your computer screen, then go play The Sims. No, but seriously. I personally really enjoyed that the character creation leaves every door open. You want to be a wizard with a feminine hairstyle or voice? You want to have a really sick looking scar over your whole face? You want to create Harry Potter even? You can, and I think that's amazing. Who you want to be in the end is also defined by your choices in the game and the dialogues you have with different characters you come across. I chose to be the good guy for my very first walkthrough, but if you want to, you can be as mean as they come. If you want to Avada Kedavra your way through the wizarding world, you can even do that without ever having to face consequences for it. I love me some representation and enjoyed whenever I came across someone who is unapologetically themselves. Serona, for example, a trans woman, or this nice lady here who mentions her wife in a side quest. But even that seems to be a reason to complain for some people. Don't you worry. For every gay couple and trans person you meet, there will be 20 cis and straight people to balance it. I personally really enjoy interacting with the different personalities across the wizarding world. Yes, the world can feel empty at times because even though you encounter lots of NPCs, they seem to just stare into nothing. It's definitely something that can be improved in the future, though I don't think it takes away from the overall gaming experience. I don't want to tell you too much about the different interactions with each teacher, student, or companion, because that is something you have to explore yourself. But one thing I can say is that you will be excited to talk to them whenever you come across them. Hogwarts Legacy consists of 43 main missions which will lead you to exploring and eventually figuring out what your purpose as a student who joins Hogwarts as a 5th year is. You get thrown into the story right after your character customization, and it is an incredible start to the game. As I said, I had my reservations going into playing the game as I was scared that I would be disappointed. All these fears faded in the very first minutes of the game, and I knew right away that it's only going to get better from here. I'm now realizing how hard it is to tell you about the story without actually telling you about the story. I just want to see all of your faces when I tell you about the amazing things I experienced in the game. But don't worry, I won't. I really enjoyed all the main and side missions I've played so far. However, there are missions that I avoided on purpose because I knew that they would scare me shitless. Seriously, this game could just as well be called Horror Legacy. I don't know what they were intending to do, but if it is giving their players a heart attack, then they almost achieved that multiple times with me. I'm not joking. There are dozens of times when I screamed very high pitched and had to stop the game for a minute to check if my heart was still beating. Yeah, spiders. There are, however, also very wonderful and beautiful quests that made me tear up. It's just a very nice balance of crying because you thought you died and crying because you can't believe how beautiful it is. Besides the main story, there are also lots of side quests and assignments you get from people all over the wizarding world. Whether it is saving a mooncalf from a poacher camp, looking for potion ingredients, or slaying trolls, there is a lot of variety and you won't get bored. And if for whatever reasons you just don't feel like doing any of the quests, you have a whole wide world to explore. It's actually very hard to say where the exploration starts in the game. I mean, some would probably say you start when you finish the first main mission, when you can actually walk free. But for me, it felt like I was already exploring the world during the very first mission. Every corner has so much detail, and all you really want to do is walk away from the missions and go see what's behind the next rock. The spell you will probably use the most out of any will be Revelio. Don't worry, you will learn more about it in the game, but Revelio will show you chests and other things that are around you and that you won't always see right away. Especially when on the look for field guide pages, it is the only spell that will help you find them. Using it, hearing a ringing and not knowing where it came from will drive you insane, but the sweet feeling of success once you find the page is worth it. You will find all kinds of collectibles all over the world, and let me tell you, it's a big world. To help you get to places much faster, you can either use the Flu Flames that will take you right to where you want to go, or if you want to enjoy the environment while traveling, you can either use a broom or a mount. I barely ever use the Flu Flames until the mission that I want to go to is very far away, because I enjoy the flying so much. I struggled a little bit with the controls in the beginning, but once I got the hang of it, I used my broom or hippogriff to get wherever I want much quicker than if I would walk. It happens a lot that I get distracted by little mini games, enemies, or beast stands, and you even see them while you fly, so you're never gonna miss out on them. That's actually what I like to do most when I'm not on a mission. I check my map to see where the next den is and fly there, catch beasts, and bring them to my room of requirement where they will be safe from poachers. Oh, look at that! A smooth transition to the next thing I want to talk about, the room of requirement. After what I had seen in the trailers, I knew that the Room of Requirement would be a place I would spend a lot of time doing all sorts of stuff. And I wasn't wrong. I just underestimated how much time I would actually spend in it. I haven't even started really decorating it and making it pretty, and I catch myself just taking care of my beasts, brewing potions and growing plants for hours. Especially before big fights, the Room of Requirement is the very first place I go to, and every time I leave so much more confident due to my potions and upgraded gear. However, stocking up on potions and upgrading your equipment requires collecting resources which are found in the open world. I usually connect collecting my resources with starting a new quest, simply because on our travels there will be plenty of opportunities to fill your pockets with all kinds of plants, fungi and eggs. And like I mentioned, I often get distracted by beast dens. I love the feeling of letting new beasts run free in my vivariums and the excitement they get every time you visit them. I can't get enough of the stares I get from them while they wait for me to brush them. I don't want to spoil much more for you. It is really up to you how and if you decide to explore the world, but one thing I can tell you is that you will not be disappointed. It doesn't take long until we are being thrown into our very first combat situation, and even though we have barely any knowledge in casting spells, the dueling comes natural to you. I started playing the game on an easy difficulty because I wanted my focus to be on the exploration. However, after just a few enemy encounters, I had the most fun I ever had with combat in a video game, and I changed it to normal so it would require a little more skill from me. Why did I just say in a video game as if I had so many combat situations in real life? Anyway, the more spells you learn, the more variety your combat experience has. And even I, a combat noob, got the hang of it eventually. It is so much fun that while exploring, I sometimes go out of my way and look for a battle to stop poachers and goblins. Believe me, there are lots of combat opportunities that will let you learn more about the effects of your spell on different enemies. I do stay away from spiders though because they freak me out. Listen, I tried giving them a chance of becoming friends, but the very first spider I encountered jumped into my face and made me scream out loud. Since then, I stay away from them. Alright, but I promise, the amount of enemies and massive spells might seem overwhelming, but if you go into a battle with a plan and the right spells, your enemy will turn to dust in no time. Although I catch myself starting to press random buttons because I'm stressed and then blaming the game for not knowing what button I actually wanted to press, but like they say, the person holding the controller is never the problem. Yep, I'm sure that is how it goes. I could tell you much more about the graphics and the performance, but to be honest, I have no idea about that. For me, it just looks amazing and it runs very well, so that's all I can say to that. Overall, would I say that this game is worth every penny and hours of your life? Abso-fucking-lutely. This game is everything that I had hoped for and so much more. It exceeded my expectations so much that I forgot to breathe every once in a while playing. I get goosebumps just thinking about my very first moments in the game and the amazing adventures that literally took my breath away. The immersive world, engaging story, and fun combat mechanics are what makes this game so fantastic, and I really feel like everyone should experience it for themselves. You don't have to be a Harry Potter fan to be sucked into the story and be fascinated by what surprises the game holds. I cannot recommend this game enough, and if you are considering buying the game, please do yourself a favor and do it. I promise you, you will not regret it. I would even go as far as saying that this game will be Game of the Year, and if not, then it will have been robbed from it. That's all I can and want to say about the game in this video. If you have specific things you want me to dive in deeper, then leave your suggestions in the comments down below. You can watch me play Hogwarts Legacy and many other games 5 to 6 times a week on Twitch under this name. I will put it somewhere in here. Let's get to 50 followers, shall we? Also, if you don't want to miss any of my more detailed videos about the game, I would really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. Alright, that was it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed today's video, and then I will see you next time. See ya! Bye-bye.